How about now?
Yes.
Actually, I'm watching the election.
Oh, who cares about that? Jesus.
ALP's in front. They got one.
Could care less.
We're live.
Hi, whatever the Premier's name is. Ryan asked, did he have to vote for Albo today? I said, no, mate. Albo's not our Premier. And the fact that you don't know the difference between state and federal is even more concerning. Wait. Yeah, it's... Welcome to live softball action coming to you from Diamond 1 West Beach, South Australia on beautiful Ghana land. Tonight is the qualifying final between minor premiers West Torrens and the second place Walkerville. The winner earns passage to next Saturday night's grand final for the Linda Martin Shield. The loser faces Hills, who won a close elimination final against Seacombe Tigers earlier today. What a stage we've got set here for Diamond 1. This is exactly what softball finals should be about. And when we look at the tail of the tape, we'll go through that in just a second. Sorry. First of all, my name's Anthony, and I'll be your play-by-play caller tonight. Joining me on the mic is the South Australian Board Chairman, Pete Williams.
Yes, good evening. It's a perfect night down here for softball, so can't wait to see this game get underway.
It's going to be a big game. These two teams have met 5 times throughout the regular season. West Torrens with a 3-2 advantage as far as win-loss goes. And West Torrens have scored 12 and Walkerville 10. So all of the games have been really close, Pete, and the reason for that is that you've got Australian Spirit and Cath Coral champion Steph Trzynski in the middle, premiership pitcher, Aussie Spirit catcher and player Amber Hood, and then on the other side you've got Walkerville, current Cath Coral medal pitcher of the year, led the Cats to their first premiership in 7 years, the champion from Boise State in the US, Taylor Caudle, and she's thrown to our other Aussie Spirit catcher and new player there in Chelsea Robertson. So you're not going to find a better battery matchup in the country, and we've got it right for us here tonight.
Yeah, spot on there. The battery tonight for both teams is what's got them to the spot that they're in here in this top two, and it's going to be electrifying. The pitchers have different things up their sleeve that they can pull at different times. The catchers, as you've spoken about, both very well credentialed for what they're doing and will be calling the right pitches at the right time. So the batters and on the base are going to have to be on their game tonight. And as you said, small totals generally win.
Yeah, and I think it's got that sense, hasn't it, a bit of a finals type. Oh, well, it is a finals type game, but I mean, just in regards to the pressure, I mean, this gets you the week off, gets you straight through the, you don't have to have the pressure of going into the prelim on Wednesday night. So nothing separates the two teams when you look at them on paper. I mean, they've got quality infielders. Maddie Scott makes a return to the West Torrens lineup. Obviously, another Aussie Spirit member. So, and then, of course, you've got the experience of Sophie King in the same spot and Walkerville's team on the other side. You've also got the dynamic new Liz Avery for Walkerville, who seems to be just able to do anything. And then, of course, West Torrens, obviously without players such as Lana Kaisler and so on, but they've still got, the likes of Jordan Harris, Sophie Hoyle. So they've got some great experience. But on top of the experience, plus adding Maddie Scott back into the lineup, Coach Sutton's done a really good job of evolving the youth at West Torrens and giving them opportunities through the year, and it's paid them off.
Yeah, those youth have been around this squad, and as you said, for years to come, they got the experience of those people you just mentioned. in the infield that have been giving them the opportunity, and they've crept their way through to the final. They've come home the last couple of games and really shown what they can do on the diamond, and now they've backfilled that infield with the strength of their experienced players, and I think they've got a really, really good chance tonight to show their best off.
So kicking us off tonight, we've got Blue Pete Fairley behind the plate. We've got Toby Sadler and Nicky Wong on the other base pass as well. We've got Trzynski and who's on the...
We've got Marcy Trzynski, Sue Norris and Lindy Radigan.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. We've got more scorers than we do commentators. So obviously he's kicking off for West Torrens tonight. Defensively, it's going to be Steph Trzynski throwing to Amber Hood. The power hitter Sophie Hall's at 1. The experienced Jordan Harris is at 2nd. Maddie Scott returns from Queensland at shortstop, and Carly Allen, premiership player with the Eagles, at 3rd. Then again, a young outfield. Izzy Benedictson, Caitlin Holt, the National Under-23 champion, and Sienna Sutton. That's West Torrens have always prided themselves on defence, and that's a fairly good defence assembled there. You've got Talia Sutton, Asher Scott and Josephine Vergara on the bench to come in. And you want to run us just through the Walkerville batting lineup, Pete, and we'll do the reverse at the top of the innings.
So as you said, Aussie Spirit catcher and the catcher for Walkerville tonight, Chelsea Robinson, will lead them off. Sophie King will follow in the 2 spot. Then we go to the 2 Americans, Lizzie Avery and Ciara Larson, following at 3 and 4. Then Georgia Mason, good young up-and-coming player, 23 champion as well. She'll go in the 5 spot, followed by Kelly Bested, Michaela Robinson in only, I think it's their 5th Premier League game of the year. Casey Taylor's got the go out at centrefield tonight. She'll be in the 8 spot. Erin Stone will be 9, and Taylor Caudle won't be hitting, but she's in their team tonight.
And what a difference she makes. ERA sitting around 1. Last year, over 200 strikeouts, and was the clear Kath Coral and Pitcher of the Year as she led the Cats to a premiership. But tonight, we've got Australian Spirit to the Australian Spirit, with the Australian Spirit facing all of them. Trzynski to Hood, Robertson at the plate. And as you'd expect, fastball, strike 1, early start. Passage to the Linda Martin Shield Grand Final next Saturday night is the outcome of tonight's game. One on one, a watchful Robinson, and the speedy, experienced Sophie King is on deck. Hood sets out outside as Trzynski gets a breaking ball on the outside that falls off the edge of the plate. Goes ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gets after this one, out in front, fouls it off. Robertson, who's just been named as one of the finalists this year for the Mel McGee batting medal, which is going to be celebrated tomorrow night at the awards night, batting 500 for the Cats, 31 hits, and an on-base slugging of 661. Gets after this one, and it's just been called foul by Blue out there at third base. Came off like an absolute tracer bullet. Check this one out in the replay, Pete.
Yeah, it was absolutely smashed. It was perfectly out of the bat, just curled nicely. Would have been good if it had come in play, but I don't know if we're getting a replay of it at all. But, yeah, definitely was a good piece of the ball, that was for sure. It was travelling to the fence if it got fair.
White Eastern Ghost bat, so I would assume the best place to get that would be down at MC Sport on Port Road. And after going up and chasing down, Robinson is retired as the Eagles get the valuable lead off. A very important first out with 20 to get, 7 innings these finals. Sophie King, the experienced multi-premiership player, having another good season. As always, she does. Player that can fit many positions. She can play second, short, she can play outfield, and she's always a very difficult out at the plate. She's got that very secretive little hidden slap square running bunt that she sort of pulls out from time to time. But here she is swinging away early in the qualifying final against the superstar that is Steph Trzynski.
Just noticed early here, Steph's going a lot low in the zone. She got Chelsea a couple of times going after that breaking one down. She started off a little bit low in the zone as well here. Just wondering if she's a bit of a ploy early to keep it down to Walkerville.
Well, the first time she went up in the count, it got smashed over Carly Allen's head and was nearly a stand-up double. So interesting to see what will be, but it's must be hard throwing to such quality lineups. King goes up after it, past the letters, and Trzynski again finds herself in front in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the first. King at the plate, on deck, Liz Avery. Just chips in this one, and athletically Sophie Hall just throws an arm up, and if you don't mind, backhands the catch.
Yeah, it's a just back contact here as we see on the replay. The pitch comes in and Sophie just goes at it, reaches over to it, tries to hit it offside, and Sophie Hoyle just plonks it up. Jordan Harris was coming around behind, probably would have got it.
Yeah, King did well there. She was behind in the count, so she understood that she had to protect. Trzynski went to the outside ball again. King went with her, but Hoyle backhand, if you don't mind, for the second out. Liz Avery playing third base tonight, can also pitch, comes into the plate. Hasn't played every game so far this season, but when she has played, she's been very effective.
One goes out wide there. Yeah, she's only come in since Christmas time. She's come post the mid-season break, and she's definitely been useful to him. She's gone into the middle to pitch a couple of times. She's capable, very capable with the bat, and she's got such long levers and legs. She can get around the diamond pretty quickly, so damaging if she gets on.
Swings hard at fast at this one. Trzynski not mixing the pace up too much early so far. .588 is a reasonable average, so suggesting there that she's 10 from 17. So 17 trips to the plate, she's hit 10 times. So good numbers from the international. And there's the first change-up of the night on cue. And Avery watches it bounce through the dirt. Still night here at West Beach on Garnerland. No breeze whatsoever. It's been a sunny, warm day, not hot.
It's been perfect conditions down here.
Absolutely perfect. Avery goes hard. Trzynski challenges the hands, and the ball comes off foul to the first base line. Rob Laidlaw with his trusty camera doing a great job with his Facebook page, Play Ball. You get all the results from softball and baseball in the Adelaide metro area. Gives great write-ups, keeps everybody in contact with what's going on. One of our VIP guests tomorrow night. And same pitch outside, doesn't break as hard. I think it was probably outside all the way. And that brings to the plate the DP, Sierra Larson. So a K2, a fly out, a walk, and now the cleanup hitter comes to the plate with a runner at 1 and 2 out for the Eagles, top of the first. Trzynski challenges early, inside. Larson can't resist the rise ball as she chases it up. Too fast from Trzynski, too much control. Hood makes it look easy behind the plate. Head in the count, 2-0. Just under the letters there. Just missing. Good to see Maddie Scott back in Eagles colours there as she's covering up second base in case Avery wants to get adventurous and test the arm of Amber Hood.
They're very centred, waiting for this ball to come.
And she gets her again. Trzynski's rise ball, unplayable when executed such as that. And the Eagles retire the top 4 from the Cats. 2 strikeouts, a fly out and a walk. And we flip the card over as we see the Walkerville Cats take on the Aqaba replay, Pete.
Yeah, Sarah Larson there. She's deep in the box, just giving the space of Steph. You see the ball just travelling up, a nice little rise on it. And Larson couldn't get bat to ball, and there's the second K2 of the innings.
And speaking of the Aqaba Hotel, we thank them for their support. They are obviously our sponsor for this evening's broadcast, and we will, as the Adelaide Softball Association, be in the top of the Arc Room tomorrow night from 6 o'clock for the awards night, where we get to celebrate the association awards across A grade all the way down to the under 12. So big night coming up.
This time tomorrow night, dinner will be served.
That's right, correct, it will be. So, and a couple of awards would have already been handed out. We already announced one award today, and that was the Linda Martin Trophy, of course, for the minor premier, which is West Torrens. So, which is why they are batting second in tonight's game. We'll take this opportunity to jump around. If you want to go around the Walkerville defence, Pete.
Sure thing. As you said earlier, Taylor Caudle pitching to Chelsea Robinson. Georgia Mason up at first, Erin Stone at second, Lizzie Avery at third and Sophie King at shortstop. Michaela Robinson at left field, Casey Taylor at centre field, Kelly Bested at right field, Sierra Larson the DP, Erin Reid, Steph Gall and Hayley Mayer on the bench. There was a late change. Hayley Mayer was going to start the game at centre field but got here late from her premiership out at Centrals today, I believe. So as a result, she's starting on the pine.
Leading off for the Eagles is the regular lead-off and Aussie Spirit rep Amber Hood. Jordan Harris, the experienced infielder who can hit with great power. Maddie Scott returns, as we said, gives a left-handed look and takes over at shortstop. Trzynski in the 4 slot. Power hitter 5 is Sophia Hoyle, and that's followed up by Allen, Benedictson, Holt and Sutton. So some speed in the bottom part of the Eagles lineup, very much some quality in the top part, so it's a great mix. And they're going to have to work very, very hard tonight because they're facing Taylor Caudle, the current reigning Cath Coral medalist. High, and you can hear it slap into Robertson's glove. Don't have the pitch gun on me tonight, but it certainly sounded 100 Ks and plus.
Yeah, that was thrown pretty hard for the first pitch of the night. It's signs of things to come, as you said. It'll be a battle in the middle.
Does the same again. We were lucky enough to have Taylor on the last commentary round with us, where she was giving us some great coaching insights as to what she likes and what she doesn't like. I wonder if West Torrens watched that tape and see if they learn anything from that. So, looking at her face at the moment, I'm not too sure I'd want to play poker with her. Comes back, off speed, ball breaks at the plate. It's a great strike to throw when you just run 2 genuine rockets up past the letters. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Amber Hood leading off for the Eagles, 0-0, bottom of the first.
I think that was inside.
A genuine brushback there at in excess of 100 kilometres per hour. The old push them back off the inside of the plate and try and open up the outside. That's the theory anyway, but Amber hasn't backed away. She's still in the same spot. Amber takes the ball on the outside edge. Again, a mix of speed there. That ball breaking late. Full count. Typical from Amber Hood, making the pitcher earn everything. And she reads the off-speed as the ball goes past Avery at third, all the way out to left field where Michaela Robertson gets the ball into Erin Stone. But sloppy work by the Cats as the ball spills at second. You don't need to give Amber Hood an opportunity. She's taken it and she's picked herself up an extra 60 feet. And just like that, the Eagles have got a runner at second.
Yeah, if we get a replay of that, it just was hit. She's held her hands back really well and really reached and managed to pull it round, as we see here. She sits on it, then just reaches at it, digs it out. It gets past Avery there, out to the left fielder in Michaela Robinson. Amber went a fair way around, but she did decide to just hold up. Then the throw came into 2. Erin Stone in there at 2 has taken a ball on the bounce, which has got away from her, and Amber's just seized on the opportunity, and good piece of base running by Amber Hood.
Can't do that in qualifying finals or any finals for that matter. You have to be switched on, and that's why this becomes super dangerous, because Jordan Harris has a very good knack of hitting extra bases with runners in scoring position. She's having a great year, batting .333, picked herself up 9 RBIs in the regular season. Shows bunt, Hood comes far off, Stone gets over there to second to keep her there. Avery was down and King was there. That's a sprint worth watching. King and Hood on their way to third, and high in the zone as you'd expect. Sits back, takes a ball on the inside.
That last play where Amber got over to 2, the importance of having a switched on and ready to go first base coach. She was coming back to one. It was Lana that said go when she saw the ball get through. So really well done by Lana Kaisler there. Would ordinarily have been in this game, but very well done by her to push Amber out.
Coach Kaisler. Harris, aggressive. Swings her hands hard out in front. Good vocal comms here from Coach Kaisler, as Peach was just mentioning there, pumping up the Eagles veteran. On deck, the dangerous Maddie Scott, batting left-handed. Batting .480, so Caudle needs to make sure that he can try and get something here, because bringing Harris to first, and then you've got Scott, Trzynski, Hoyle. Sounds terrible because it is. At none out.
Yeah, Taylor just not hitting the zone at the moment. Just pitched a lot of balls for her normal style, so hopefully she warms into it.
Harris gets on this one. Right field comes charging in. Kelly Bessard falls at her knees, but it's going to cost them a run as Hood turns. It doesn't cost them a run as they've smartened their relay up now, as Hood is held at third by Coach Sutton. Didn't get all of it. Sort of hit high in the barrel, as you can see on the Arkabar replay. And Bessard sitting deep for a right-handed batter. Just came in, fell at her feet, and it was a difficult ball to pick up. But at least she kept the ball in front of her.
Oh, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate there. She's
fell behind her, and my apologies.
It's ended up going past the glove and then hitting the back leg, which then ricocheted to the front and ricocheted away. Bit unlucky with it there, but...
Should have cost them a run. It's going to cost them now, though, because Scott has just smashed the ball out to left field. But it's a very, very valuable sacrifice fly as the Eagles go 1-0 off the back of Maddie Scott's first pitch back. RBI, sac fly, scoring the lead-off Amber Hood.
Yeah, it didn't take her long to get the eye back in here at the Premier League. A couple of weeks away, she's just absolutely creamed that ball, curled with the wind. Well done by Michaela Robinson to take it. Then she got the ball in. It was really quick to get it in to make sure the runner didn't advance from the 2 spot. But they've scored the run and they've got the early money.
Doesn't get any easier now. At 1 out, Steph Trzynski, traditionally very, very aggressive at the plate and can hit a long ball, batting .365 with 16 RBIs. So not just having a great season from the circle, she's having a great season with the bat. Normally bats the 5 spot, so she's in the 4th spot tonight, and she's got Harris at 2. A speedy runner who's also base smart. So any opportunity here, look for Harris to take it. Eagles gaining some ascendancy early against the Cats.
Yeah, Walkerville really need to be careful here. A big hit from Trzynski can get quite deep. Anything that's deep enough will give Jordan Harris a sniff at that home plate. She is super quick from there, regardless if it's caught or not.
Well, Bested is still very deep for a right-hander, but again, considering Caudle's pace, you know, there's the argument that the ball is going to fly out to that side, so sort of understand a bit of that placement in that regard.
Steph also very capable off-field hitter and can hit a big ball, so you wouldn't want to be inside because Steph will get herself around the 3 as well, so protecting probably that, if anything.
Harris would love that. Just on the letters there for Trzynski. Levels the count up 2-2. 1 out. And Trzynski swings on the outside as Hoyle gets her opposite number. 2 out now for the Eagles. Power hitter and first base player Sophie Hoyle comes to the plate. Batting .255 with 11 runs batted in for the season. Jordan Harris still at second. Eagles are up 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Very smart first pitch there to a power hitter. And that's a perfectly executed change-up by Caudle.
Hoyle about 3 minutes too early on that one.
Yeah, just it's...
That's a real sucker pitch. We see Taylor do that a lot, and when she does have that on, it's getting everyone in the competition still.
Yeah.
Last year we saw a lot more of the rise ball was the one. They were all swinging on that rise ball, getting struck out. This year it's that change.
She's got a decent mix. This ball's going to be a difficult catch for Sophie King to take. So difficult, in fact, that Harris has used the opportunity to get around and score the average that the West Torrens Eagles score against the Cats, and yet they've done it in just the first innings, as they've scored 2 off the back of that ball that's fallen in between centrefield, second and short.
Yeah, Casey Taylor was pretty deep out there, and it ended up a bit of a iron triangle between King, Stone and Taylor. King committed to it, so everyone else had to get out of her way, but it just unfortunately landed amongst them all.
Carly Allen, multi-premiership player with the Eagles. Been running around with the state over 35s, trialling for the Sydney trip in the middle of the year. She's can catch, playing a bit of third here for the A-grade, but she's always been a decent bat too, so she's way ahead of this one as she catches one of Caudle's change-ups, and she's fouled it off down the third base line.
I think the trick with Caudle is just if you're going to get that slow pitch and you can't get it away, at least get it in foul territory and keep yourself alive.
Yep.
You don't want to be going down to it, so you really do have to hold your hands as long as you can on it, and at least get something on it.
That's why Amber Hood demonstrated why she's one of the best getting around, as she combated that in her first at-bat, doing a great job of just keeping them back. Down and low, Hoyle jumping off her first, trying to gain some interest there from Robinson behind the plate. Fly ball, foul ball over the first base side here as Mason and Robinson check it out. Allen in a battle here. Hoyle on base at 2 out. King sort of defending a little bit more the middle than traditional. There's a big hole there in 6-5 between short and third. And the outfield's coming about a good 30 yards shallower. And the change-up gets her as Caudle gets her second strikeout for the innings.
Yeah, both pitchers finished up with 2 strikeouts there. 2 different ways the strikeouts came. Steph pitching more of that down stuff, whereas they were more change-ups that got them then. So But we're through one inning already, and West Torrens got the early jump on Walkerville, and as you've said, not many runs generally separate these teams. So to get the 2 early ones puts all that pressure back on Walkerville. They're going to have to find a way to get the bats cracking, which didn't happen in the first.
Yeah, I thought Corder was good in the first innings there, even though she gave the ball up a couple of hits. But I thought nothing was clean, really, other than, I suppose, Amber's first at-bat in that regard. And I felt the sense more that she was just probing that zone, which is probably why she wasn't just strike all the way. Trzynski, straight from the outset, she had the outside edge working beautifully. She got the break on the ball that she wanted, and even threw a change at the end to throw a little bit of mix there. So I think Trzynski's already dialed in. She sort of knows what she's after. I think Caudle's probably got a bit of a better game plan now that she's had a look and knows what's about. So I think as the game goes on, I think she'll get better in that regard. Georgia Mason, the under-23 Nash champion, and first base for the Cats, will be leading them off in the top of the second here in the qualifying final. Eagles 2, Walkerville 0.
Interesting, she obviously can't wear it here, but interesting, when Steph was at bat, she had a bandage on, well, it looked like a bandagey type thing on her right arm across the elbow, so the back arm, which is a weird one to try to protect. She's obviously out there pitching, not with it on now, but just wonder if it's, a bit of protection from a potential, maybe little soreness or something, not sure, but it was interesting when she was batting, she had it on, and it's not normally, the back arm's not normally one you try to protect if you...
Well, you look at the calendar year that she's had, as far as workload goes, I think one of the reasons she's been so dominant the second half of the year is that she's pitched most of their games, which is pretty standard for the Eagles in that regard. I mean, that's why they are where they are. Mason, good swing, but just comes off the end of the bat, and Hoyle takes a slow roller up the first base line for the first and lead off out. But you've got to remember that Trzynski's obviously thrown heavy national championships where she was used probably significantly more than she was expecting. And then, of course, the Australian Cup call-up and then having to throw against Japan and New Zealand at the end of January. So, I mean, it's a big workload for her in that capacity. Kelly Bested, the right fielder, comes in and takes an early strike. So
I definitely don't think she's complaining about the amount of pitching game time she's had. She's been doing a lot and doing it, I must say, I think, personally, of my viewing of her, and I think she's in probably the form of her career right now. She is smashing them. She looks fit. She looks healthy, apart from whatever's with that arm, whether it's something or not, I don't know. But
you remember Country Championships? Was it Country Championships when
we had
the exhibition game on?
Yep.
And she came on and she threw 6 strikeouts in 2 innings. It wasn't much of an exhibition. Bested goes up high, chasing the kicking rise ball as Trzynski retires the top 2.
No, we do remember that. We had that's where some of the affiliates from the regional associations chipped in and played alongside some of the ASA stars. And for a couple of innings, some of those affiliates got to face Steph Trzynski, who was pelting rockets down at them. And I don't know if we've located those affiliate players since, or if they're still living in a little bit of fear.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to sort of do when you're playing in an exhibition game. You sort of think you're going to have a bit of fun, but maybe not so.
It was the same exhibition game. Belle White took a catch at centre field like it was training drill.
As she does. Michaela Robinson comes into the lineup. As we said before, has only played she's had 6 games, 4 starts. So she's had the 10 at-bats for the season. And here she is in a qualifying final facing Steph Trzynski. She's getting... I mean, it's amazing. No wind. It is perfectly still here. And Trzynski is breaking that ball at the last second. It is insane to see live.
There's a little bit of humidity hanging around, so the air is quite dense. And it is no wind, and it is just... Even that there just went up and in.
Well, it's like she's got a yo-yo. I mean, she struck out 3 of the first 6. So, alarm bells for the Cats, because if Hood and Trzynski start doing this, it's a tough night. Robinson goes down looking for strikeout 4 for Trzynski. And we spoke about it in the pre-game. They're a dangerous combination, probably the best one in the country. Probably matched only by the one that's about to replace them as the Boise State superstar Taylor Cordell throws to the ever-reliable, ever-consistent Chelsea Robinson. Second most amount of defensive plays in the season has Chelsea Robinson had. Bettered only by the other person that we were just talking about in Amber Hood. So that's opportunities to have a play in the game. So
I hope you're not considering putouts, given that Taylor Cordell and Steph Trzynski's strikeouts count as putouts to the catcher.
There is a suggestion that they do get a little bit more of an opportunity than others, but somebody's still got to do that.
But also in saying that, both Robinson and Hood, we know when they don't go in behind the plate, get out into those pivot spots, and are just as good out there as they are behind the plate. They've both got wicked arms, very good movement, and very agile.
Well, it's been doing the social rounds this week. Softball Australia were kind enough in our finals week to start showing videos of Amber Hood's great catch out at right field in the Australia Cup. And then at the same stage, you saw Robinson doing some catching later in the week. I don't want to say too much, but these other states better start catching up, because our South Aussie players are just dominating that Aussie spirit at the moment. I mean, 11 of the squad are South Australian, born, raised, involved in. Yeah, we're still, Pippa Atkins, she's ours.
Yep.
Coach Ben Lucas.
Yep.
Manager Jackie Dunn. Cordell pitching the bottom of the second, leading off is left fielder Izzy Benedictson.
You see in the background there, Sophie Hall just chilling, feet up on the fence. She's done her work already tonight and got her run in. She's just parked over next to the scorer, as relaxed as can be.
Good on it.
She's taking a good catch in there at first, where she extended up pretty high to get it, and then she's got the hit, which brought home a run. So she's had a good start to the game. But you're right. The difference here is the bat is hitting the ball for West Torrens, which is putting the ball in play, and it's falling in spots at the moment. That is always we see in this Premier League. Quite a lot of the time, the way runs get scored is just balls flopping in spots. But to do that, you've got to get the bat on ball, and that's the difference. Is Steph's not giving Walkerville a chance at the moment.
Speaking of no chance, Cordell takes Benedictson uptown and picks up the leadoff strikeout as she goes to 3 strikeouts in the game from the first 7 batters. Caitlin Holt, the ever-improving centre fielder here for the Eagles in the 8th spot. Influential in the under-23s.
She also coaches her Eagles under-12 team, which this morning went to a tiebreaker, under-12s, at the end of their 75 minutes. Scores were level. They had to go to a tie-break innings. And then she had to run off from that and go and play in B grade. So she's had a very busy morning.
That is a busy day. But she's fit and athletic, and she'll be up for the task. Here she's facing Cordell. Cats defence sitting probably where they finished last inning, so they're a bit shallower. Holt turns on this one, bat way out in front, and she's fouled it off down the third base line. It's really going to be one of those battles where you sort of, the top parts of both lineups are, quality heavy, and you're always asking the question of the next 4 of what they can do. I mean, especially when you look at the power hitting that the Cats have in the likes of Robinson and Avery, Mason, and Larson. So they need some of those to get on. No different for the Eagles as Holt goes down looking. So, because when you've got Amber Hood, who's not just a great batter, I mean, she's got a great eye as well. So she's a very, very tough out. But then you've got Harris, who can just hit extra bases at the drop of a hat. Maddie Scott's already shown her intent with her first at-bat tonight, smashing the ball to left field. And then you've only got power hitters and Trzynski and Hoyle to come. So if the Eagles can put some pressure on with the bottom 4 or 5, Sienna Sutton, the the rising young superstar from the Eagles.
And right at this very point, Walkerville would be wanting to get this out and get them back in the sheds and back on the diamond, West Torrens, because they've still got to roll to their 8 and 9 batter in their third innings, and they're chasing 2 already. Whereas in this case, if West Torrens get this runner on base, all of a sudden that top of the lineup comes and gives them that opportunity to extend that lead, which would make it a really, really tough comeback from there in a game that we know doesn't need a lot of runs to put the pressure on.
No, well, the Eagles made the average in the first innings, so Sutton here she's showing short bat twice. So I don't know if she's playing tricks with the infielders at first and third for the Cats at 2 out. She's behind in the. She's 1-1 in the count here. Takes another strike.
Yeah, she's got to just get bat on ball here. The field, as you said, is quite shallow. So Sophie King is fielding in front of the line at running line from 2 to 3. Lizzie Avery is actually a few steps in shallower than I think she would normally be for the rest of the West Torrens lineup. So if she can just get bat on ball on that offside or on the left side of the diamond, there's a chance it goes through that gap.
Yeah. Sienna, even though, as we've watched her grow up through the juniors and so on, and when we say juniors, I mean still played under 16s this season at state level, she's getting taller quick, but again, that zone's probably not as large as some of the other players in the lineup who are a bit taller. So she's behind now, but she's doing a great job of reading that outside edge as she now levels the count 2-2.
It's gone to full count, actually.
Full count. 2 out here, bottom of the second. Sienna Sutton playing at right field at the plate. And swings over as Caudle picks up strikeout 5 of 9. But when you hear 5 of 9, you would think that the Eagles would be scoreless. They are not. They are leading to go into the top of the third, 2-0. They did that, if you're just joining us, off the lead-off at-bat from Amber Hood, where she took it to a full count, as she does, sat back and turned an outside ball, stuck it down the left field line. Harris had a ball drop in on the right side at 9, which then got kicked, which allowed Hood to go on and score. And Maddie Scott then came up and went bang, and with her first laser over to left field, Trzynski struck out before Hoyle picked up another single. So the Eagles 2, Cats 0, but the Cats are about to come through 8-9-1 in their lineup. So Chelsea Robinson had a strikeout in her first at-bat, so I would suggest that she's going to be reasonably keen to fix that up quick smart from her Aussie Spirit teammate Steph Trzynski.
I think it's really important here Walker will get one of these two on base. They can't afford to be 2 out rolling to the top of their lineup and give that West Torrens a chance to come out at the top of their lineup and fire. So they really have to get at least Stone or Taylor have to find themselves a base here, however they can get there, whether it be... I don't think you're going to get a walk from Steph Trzynski, so it's going to require a bat on ball in some way.
Casey Taylor, state under 18 rep, switch hitter, can bat left or right, playing the outfield tonight. One of the rising talents coming out of the Cats. She's in game 19 for somebody still playing under 18 state national ball. Shows that the future is bright for some of these softball clubs moving forward. Trzynski asks the question outside. Levels the count. Sorry, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Makes contact here as she fouls it over the third base bench of where West Torrens are seated. Your Linda Martin Trophy winners, which means that they have won the minor premiership, which will be awarded tomorrow night. And tonight is the qualifying final between West Torrens and Walkerville. The winner straight through to the grand final next Saturday night, 7:30. Grounds out over to Trzynski, and Steph goes back to high school as she shot puts the ball on sports day over to first base. I don't know if they're going to replay that. I'm not sure that Steph wants that. Oh, no, she's going to get it.
Here we go, as you see here. Taylor gets bat on ball. Steph Trzynski comes forward, picks it up, and watch this. This is athletics if ever I've seen it. Maybe just didn't quite put it under the cheek enough, but great little shot put safely over to first. Well made.
I was just going to give you a stat about Steph Trzynski that would be of no great surprise to anybody how good she is. But she's fielding 1,000 for the calendar season. So if that throw was going to be the break of it, I'm not entirely sure that she would have been happy with that. Erin Stone, after a very positive improvement last year in her game, has come back and improving again, as she's now playing second base effectively full-time there for the Cats, which allows Sophie King over at short, which allows Chelsea Robertson behind the plate. Where she made her money, though, was with the bat last year. That's where her numbers rose. So,
yeah, she had a really good start to the year last year. Before Christmas, she was just doing everything she could. Like, she was up in probably the top 2 or 3 out of.
Yeah, great base running speed too. So she was a danger. 269 for the season with an on base of 346. So, and
she's batting 9. 9's not a spot you throw a hack. You put the 9 in there to get them on base so that the top end can come around. I mean, I don't really know where the hacks go anymore. We had Bell White try to explain it a few weeks back and effectively said that there isn't a spot to hide anyone anymore.
I'm not entirely sure you can call them hacks, for one. Aaron here, contact out in front, but the ever-reliable Jordan Harris stays low, as the experience would show, and she gets the out. Infield here, looking $1 million. I know the ground crew's done some great work this week. And it's been a tough year with the rainouts that we've had and then the heat waves and so on. But
does it rain this year?
But to actually be in a situation where we are looking at a diamond one as good as you've seen it all year. Top of the lineup, Chelsea Robinson takes a strike.
I'll correct myself. When I say hacks, I meant the person who would just usually throw the bat at the ball and have a go at it, where they're not the most reliable person to get on.
Oh, you're suggesting that the swinger's a hack. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You're digging it deeper, so...
Yep. It'll be funeral music shortly.
Chelsea Robinson swings over a well-executed change-up by Steph Trzynski. Falls behind, 2-0 in the count, 2 out. Top of the third, sorry.
I don't get it, she can throw a ball down at 105 or whatever click she throws it down at, just appears to do it for fun, and then just sits there and smiles. Like, just incredible how much enjoyment she is having, and that's probably because I think she's in that really healthy space.
And that's a very big out for West Torrens, as Steph didn't know that it was 2 out. That's normally my problem of not knowing who's what. So... she's done a great job of negating the superstar from Walkerville and Chelsea Robertson for zip 2 for the night, and is one of the reasons why they are 2-0 currently leading over Walkerville as we go into the bottom of the third. The Eagles themselves, after the last inning where Caudle picked up strikeout, she comes back to the top of the lineup where it was hit. So, tale of two halves, as we will see. Thank you to the Arkabar for sponsoring tonight's qualifying final between West Torrens and Walkerville. The winner goes through to next Saturday night's grand final for the Linda Martin Shield, and the loser tonight gets the double chance where they will play the Hills Heat on Wednesday night here, 8 p.m. So, which will be a good game coming up. Still early days in this one, though. West Torrens have made the most of their opportunities. Caudle just starting to get into her rhythm now. So, as we've said in the pre-game, when they've only scored 12 and 10 against each other in 5 games, it's every run comes at an absolute genuine premium, and tonight is another demonstration of that. So,
good news during the country champs. I was saying how Steph Trzynski had all those victims out there from our affiliates that she was just, hurting. Well, good news, we found one. Alex Pallett has commented on the live stream tonight to say she was one of those victims. So we've still got one communicating with us. That's good. We haven't lost them all.
No, it was very, very brave, Alex. I wouldn't have faced Steph that night either if I had the chance. So you did well to go out there and at least have a go. So Caudle throwing to the top of the lineup, Amber Hood, who, it's no secret, is having another one of those years. 387 at the plate, and the on base goes all the way up to 472. That's why she's the lead off. She's got one of the best eyes in the competition, and she's gone on to score 22 runs for the Eagles in regular season play. And as I said, along with Chelsea, has been involved in more fielding plays than anybody in the competition. She also pretty much had as many at-bats as anybody in the competition. So another big year for Amber Hood. Another big year where she's, again, delivering the goods. It was a genuine thrill to be actually up in Brisbane to watch her first live at-bat for the Spirit. And it was a really good night watching her in the field as well. And she looked every bit an Aussie Spirit rep and had a great week against some very tough competition. She's got some tough competition here too, as Taylor Caudle making it very, very hard. 2-2 as Amber's first at-bat was a 7-pitch at-bat. We're already 4 into this one. Good eye takes the count full for the second time tonight.
We're going to see the change up. Last time it didn't quite work. She was able to hold her hands on it and got it through the gap. Don't know if we're going to go there a second time.
Well, appears that West Times might have watched that last game when Taylor was doing the commentary, but let's see what she does here. Full count. She changes it up again. Hood sits on it and hits the ball out to centre field. And this time, again, an overthrow at second. They're giving Hood opportunities aplenty, but great batting for Hood as she's worked through the count. And that's the first time I've seen Taylor Caudle shake her head ever after an at-bat. So,
yeah, another good piece of the ball there from Amber. This time more down the middle. She held her hands again on it and just literally put bat on ball. And the speed, even though it was a slower pitch, for the speed that she was able to get the bat through with the connection was enough to get it into play nicely.
Jordan Harris went to the right side and her first at-bat. Eagles none out here. Danger time for the Cats. Harris was able to drop a ball in just in front of Kelly Bested out there at right field, and Hood, who'd already effectively stolen second base, was able to use those wheels. So none out here. Cats looking for a double. They'll take it out. Great bunt by Harris. Still got the speed. Hood's already at second, rounding and looking, trying to get to third, but she's come back after some good fielding by Taylor Caudle in the middle.
Yeah, good bunt there by Jordan. She gets around early, gets it down, puts it a bit straight, but hits it fairly well back to the pitcher, which made it pretty easy, but she's not trying to get herself, obviously, to base there. She's happy to just sacrifice herself and push the runner around and bring Maddie Scott up, who last time put a good one in the outfield.
Yeah, she's batting 480, Maddie Scott, but she's only obviously played the 10 games because she's obviously moved to Queensland throughout the season to, I believe her partner baseballer was up there. So she's moved up there, but she's come back for the finals, which is great to see for the Eagles. There's Caudle's change again.
And I'll tell you what, I've said it a lot earlier in the year when she was playing, and we see it a lot with the lefties where they do that running style. Maddie is one who is a far better batter in my books when she's standing still swinging. And she puts contact. We saw in the first, she's capable of putting the ball to the outfield and scoring runs. I don't know why they persisted a long time with her with this running stuff, because she is so much better just standing. Yes, there's a time and place for it, but she was doing it all the time, and it became completely predictable for the opposition.
Yeah, coming out of the college system, I mean, obviously that would have been one of the things that they would have drummed into her over there, and with the amount of players that they've got, you'd expect that, you know, she'd have to find a role and make something work. So it was definitely a great skill to have, but you're right. She doesn't need to be just a one-trick pony in that regard. She's too skillful for that, especially when you consider the pedigree of, you know, when your dad's Andrew Scott, you would want to be able to clear your hands and do as he did, which was swing to the fence and swing to the fence often.
We saw it a lot, even Zoe Thompson, like before she went away overseas for Port Adelaide, she was just doing these running stuff the whole time, and all the opposition knew, just throw it on the outside, she'll never get to it, and guess what? Every time she's never got to it. Occasionally she might get onto one, but when she stood and swung out of the box, she's capable of putting the ball in the outfield and had wheels.
Yeah.
So I get that running gives that little bit of momentum on your way up the first, but not on every time.
It was 1 out. Oh, sorry. It is 1 out with a runner at 2. Chelsea Robinson timed out at 3-1 in the count to go up to Taylor and just have a quick chat. I wonder what was said. Next pitch was a ball on the out. So she's now taken Scott to a full count. Trzynski and Hoyle to follow. Love to know what would be said as she gets caught on the outside.
Yes, good pitch there, and Wood's going to come out just for a temporary runner. But, yeah, that one there, she just went to the outside again, and you saw this sort of little flicker of the bat for a minute there for Maddie Light. She really wanted to go at it. She changed her mind at the last second, and for a count when you had 2 strikes on you, I think you probably got to go at that.
Steph Trzynski struck out in her first at-bat. Gets an opportunity now with the fast Maddie Scott at second. But it's now 2 out as the Cats have fought back well from a none-out situation early.
She's done me in. She's not wearing the thing on her arm this time.
Must have heard you. Good mix by Robinson this innings. I mean, again, as I said, Eagles' first innings, they came out bang, bang, bang. And now the Eagles' top order finding it a lot harder to get any momentum. She's working both edges of the plate. Behind in the count here, though. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out. We're in the bottom of the third, and the Eagles have a 2-0 lead after 2 runs in the first innings. Good watching by Trzynski. She's now got it all going her way. Very focused Cats infield here. Not a lot of noise. I can hear Lana Kayser over the crowd at first, Coach Kayser. But I can't hear the Cats infield. Caudle comes back as the great pitchers do. Scott still bouncing. .365 for Trzynski. 16 RBIs and 11 runs scored. A big year by pitcher standards, or anybody's standards for that matter. She gets after this one out in front. It's going to be a tough play for Michaela Robertson, but she's done a great job of reading the fence there as she crosses the running track as green becomes dirt, and she's taken a very, very well-judged catch under lights.
Yeah, nice catch out there. It's an awkward position to do it in because you've got that change of footing underneath you, but as you see here, Steph reaches really out, gets it nicely in front, but just gets under it a bit, which put up the ball into the night sky, and as we see out at the left field, Michaela crosses into the dirt, understands where the fence is, and holds it well. Very important catch.
I'd like to thank the Aqaba Hotel for sponsoring tonight's qualifying final. Tomorrow night, the awards night will be held there in the top of the Arc Room. But, of course, you can get along to the Aqaba. They've been voted the #1 sports bar in the country and the #1 hotel in the country for 2 years in a row. So, Always a good opportunity to get in there for a cannery. I was having a cannery with the legend that is Joe Liddell a couple of weeks ago. We had a great feed, great catch-up. It's a great place to do it. There's more TVs in that place than Harvey Norman's electrical.
And I can tell
place.
you, our live stream gets on in there too. So they have been playing the live stream on one of the TVs in that front bar when we've had it on. So we thank the Arca Bar. They've been amazing sponsors to us. We'll repay them tomorrow night there. And then again in May in the State Awards night, we'll be definitely there again. So thank you very much to the management of the Arca Bar Hotel for supporting our sport and being a part of it. And we love having them.
Top of the fourth, number 2 in the lineup for the Cats. We're halfway through this game, and it's Sophie King who flied out to Sophie Hall in the first at-bat. Takes a change-up in the dirt. Well caught by Amber Hood behind the plate. Cats need to try and create some pressure here. Steph's pretty much had it her own way so far. Ball hasn't pierced the infield yet.
A couple of people missing tonight from these teams. I'm not sure if there's injuries or other things on that are happening tonight that they're at. Alicia Marshing for West Torrens. Did see her, I believe it was her, floating around earlier today when West Torrens were playing the B grade. Not sure. She does have shift work. Whether she's working tonight, I'm not sure. And Bailey Lux for Walkerville. No idea where she is tonight. She's obviously come in post the Christmas time of the season and been very valuable for Walkerville, but not here tonight either. So
great numbers for Lux. It was an important piece of their premiership last year. Kings just swung over a great breaking pitch at the plate to be behind in the count. Gets a fastball on the inside as Trzynski currently is throwing the ball like a yo-yo, as she has complete control of what she's doing out there at the moment. Looking amazing. The Cats are going to need to find somebody to break it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Stofie in this case, as she strikes out, bringing the dangerous Liz Avery to the plate, who, as we said, hasn't played all season, but she's played half, and what she has played, she's been very, very valuable. She got a well-picked walk in her first at-bat, but can definitely hit an extra base. It's a really big wind-up. Didn't like that one particularly there, but you can see both of her feet right in the back corner of the box, and then she sort of explodes out. And when you've got a power hitter coming to the plate, exploding out, throwing hands at you super fast, a change-up is always a great pitch to answer, especially when it's executed as well as that. Fouls this one off here. You can see there, just double swinging the bat, just chopping into it, just hand speed, just met it over the behind the back of the plate instead of out in front. Cats need somebody to put some pressure on. Can Avery be the one? Goes down looking on the outside edge. Another big win for the Eagles, who look in control here. Number 7 strikeouts in 10 batters is executing the dominance of Steph Trzynski currently, with Amber Hood doing a great job behind the plate. Clean-up hitter Sarah Larson has come into the plate. She got struck out last time on a big kicking rise ball. Georgia Mason, Kelly Bested to follow. Mason on deck, Cats now 2 out.
I've just got some information it's been passed through to me. Apparently Marshink has an injured finger.
Right.
And Bailey Lux is not in the country. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so I know from talking to Bailey, earlier in the year, the country champ, she wants to settle in Australia. She wants to be here for good. She loves the place, loves being a part of it. But yeah, not in the country apparently at the moment, and Marching is injured, so that explains those two.
Not a good time to have an injury in finals week, because after a 6-month season, it all comes down to a week. You have the semi-finals today, so we had the elimination final earlier. You got the qualifying final tonight, and you got to bounce back to a prelim on Wednesday, and then you got a grand final Saturday. So it all happens in a week. So you basically spend 5.5 months preparing to be ready for 1 week. And so you need everything to go your way. Larson fouls this one off. This time she's gone right side. So at least getting her hands out in front, starting to see the ball a bit better is Larson now. And she still chases that ball up high. It's hard to deny it, but when it's thrown as well as it is, it's difficult. And she's at least fouled it off. She's the DP tonight for, obviously, Taylor Caudle. A pitcher's battle definitely has ensued, as we believed that it would. Grounds this one out. Trzynski goes over, and after last time's shot put, she goes a little bit of sidearm razzle-dazzle, if you don't mind, as she's starting to feel pretty good out there at the moment, as the Eagles look impressive as they move into the bottom of the 4th with a 2-zip lead. I mean, how can you take us through this replay, Pete? I mean, it's fancy.
Oh, it's a little bit I was looking at it to see if we'd see another shot put, but that's just a cheeky little get it over there throw.
That's somebody that's fielded 1,000 for the year.
And a huge smile and laugh as she giggles her way to the bench.
Thank you, Vitaka Bar Hotel, for sponsoring tonight's game and giving us the opportunity to live stream both of the games today for you at home. And thanks for tuning in and supporting the Adelaide Premier League. Quick shout out to our friends at Scoots as well, who are going to be joining us tomorrow night at the Arc as our guests, after they've been a great addition to the Adelaide softball community this year. Great food, cold drinks, good prices, excellent service, better than the last mob that were in there for sure. And so they've done a great job.
I was talking to them today. They are super excited about being there tomorrow night, and they're even more excited also, well, not more excited, but they're still excited also about the fact that next weekend is Scoots Cafe Grand Final Day, where thanks to their support of us all year and what they've helped through the money they've put in through our canteen and bar from all the softball community who have chipped in throughout the entire year, they are the ones who are going to host the Grand Final Day here for us for all grades. So fantastic for them to be, they love them being a part of our community and already talking about next year.
Love that. Sophie Hoyle loves it as well, as she's going to lead off the bottom of the 4th, single to centre in her first at-bat of this game. Catching you up, it's the bottom of the 4th. The Eagles are 2-0 up over the Cats. This is the qualifying final, the winner going straight through to next week's grand final to play off for the Linda Martin Shield. The loser faces the Hills Wednesday night. First 2 runs were scored in the first innings by the Eagles by the top 5 hitters. Since then, it's been a pitcher's shootout. Hoyle chases up and high. So Caudle has 6 on her tally. And Trzynski 7th. And we're in the bottom of the 4th. So both pitchers are dominating. Both catchers calling great games. Hard ball hit up the middle. Stone had no chance, as a change has obviously been made. And for the 3rd time tonight in a row, the centre field throw has come in and not hit the cutoff for the Cats.
Yeah, Sophie Hoyle makes it 2 for 2 up the middle. She got the one the first time that just landed in that gap just past Sophie King. This time hit it flatter and harder on the ground the whole way out to Hayley Mayer, who has come in for Casey Taylor out there. Probably a bit stiff after playing it.
Yeah, she's already been in a grand final today,
and then sat she's 45 minutes on the bench. She's
doing well to back it up, so it's a long drive too. So great player, Hayley Mayer. She's in the one of the finalists for the Golden Glove Award this year as well. So
she'll also add it to their batting lineup. She'll come in at that 8 spot down the bottom there.
Very handy.
Very handy little 8 batter to get herself on and push anyone else around. So not saying Casey Taylor not, but the experience of Hayley is going to be benefit.
Carly Allen's at the plate. None out. Hall at first. Shows bunt. Tries bunt. And fouls it off. And levels the count 1-1. Mason and Avery were all over it. They were basically at the plate. So Hoyle was going to have to get a jump here. And I'm not entirely sure what that signal is by Sophie Hall. The shaking of the hand. I think that might be, don't do it again.
I'm done.
I'm not running that fast. So let's see if Ellen tries it again. Swings away, gets it out to left field, and 2 well-taken catches for the night to Michaela Robertson as a line drive shot by the third base player from the West Torrens Eagles.
It's actually a third one. Maddie Scott in the first innings hit that one out there as well that she took nicely. Couldn't stop the run scoring, but that's her third catch for the night out there, so it's been good for her so far.
Yeah, fielding deep in the outfield, playing night ball is a hard pass from me. Izzy Benedictson comes into the plate. She struck out in her first at-bat of the night. She's in a situation where the Eagles are 1 out in the bottom of the 4th with Sophie Hall, the base runner, at first after her great shot up the middle, hit with some great power, centre right, past Stone, couldn't get to it. Trying to extend the Eagles' 2-0 lead here. Up, bunt, Avery from nowhere. Her last 5 or 6 metres was a blur as she accelerated to catch that ball, as you can see here on the replay.
Yeah, it pops up. It goes in and almost behind the batter in a way that sort of goes to the left. And all the runners come in. Chelsea very quickly out of it. She's taken that about 1.5 metres in front of where Chelsea would have been. That is what helps when you're 2 metres tall.
Yeah, and she started 20 metres from the plate. Caitlin Holt signals her intent that she won't be playing short at 2 out. And a big swing beaten by a Caudle fastball here.
Also the fact of that catch, she made phenomenal amount of ground to get in there and still take the catch, hold it. But with the runner on one and the potential she could have gone, she was quick enough, and, you're not going to generally steal or do anything silly like that, but there was a chance there because she had to dive to get to it that you could have, but she was quick and knowledgeable that she needed to get up and get going again, and did really well there, Lizzie. It's helpful when your third base can do that.
Holt cuts in underneath this one. Same play as an innings before, but they've sorted it out as King calls everybody out. Mayer calls King in, and the catch is taken to retire the Eagles, who had a base runner lead them off, but then they were unable to advance it.
Well, it's business time now for Walkerville. We've got 5th innings now coming up, 3 innings to go before the end of a regulation game. They're about to roll through the middle of their lineup. West Torrens are going to come back to the top of their lineup pretty much. So they're at a spot where, and they've been hitting. That's the thing, West Torrens. So Walkerville's at a spot they need to get a couple on base and give this top of their lineup a chance to get them around, because otherwise I just can't see where the runs are coming from at the moment from Walkerville.
The impressive thing for the Eagles here is that 6, 7, 8 in that innings there, fly 7, fly 5, fly 6. Whereas the innings previous, their first time of seeing Caudle was strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. So they've made some adjustments, and the bottom half of their order is making it hard. Trzynski at the moment hasn't been under pressure. There's an opportunity here with the talented Georgia Mason coming to the plate, because they're going to need something here. Bested, Robinson, Taylor and Stone to follow before you come back to Chelsea Robbins, who's currently unders, which means she's definitely due. Mason takes an early strike,
The other Georgia.
Yeah, the other Georgia. There's Robinsons and Kings and it's crazy. 1, 2. There it is. wouldn't call it a full change-up, but it's an off-speed drop or whatever you want to call it, and it works. Tonight's player of the game, presented by Carve, available at Greatrex, going to be difficult. Mason gets after this one and fouls it off behind the plate. And we've also got the Eastern play of the game. So hasn't been too many wow moments at this particular point, but some players that are having good games. Steph Trzynski with 7 Ks is having a good game. Amber Hood's having a good game. Calling smart and great behind the plate with a couple of hits and scored the run and obviously, set the tone, I think, early there. Hoyle's been 2 for as well. So ball hasn't been really sort of jumped around the field too much. So looking for something to happen here at the end to influence this. And what you don't want to do in the top of the 5th when you're chasing 2 runs down is go down looking on the outside.
No, she foul bottom way there, and I thought she was going to have to go out another one because Steph's not giving you anything when you've got 2 strikes on you and in that position, and she just sat on it and was never going to get herself onto base doing that.
Just bested, drops her hands and just returns the ball to the infield for the Eagles as the Cats try something different. Doesn't come off, but they've at least tried something different, whereas Bested struck out in her first at-bat as well. Really well executed bunt, did everything she possibly could. Unfortunately, it's just gone straight back to Trzynski, who's now, after the shot put, has developed a sidearm submarine-style throwing action to first. 2 out, Michaela Robinson, who went down looking in her first at-bat. Trzynski now up to 8. She's had been involved in 3 fielding plays. 4 fielding plays, sorry. Sorry, 3. I was right. Trzynski just beats her for sheer pace there. Smoke off the back of the ball there as it smashes into Amber Hood's glove. So, going to be a couple of tough awards to give out tonight.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. I mean, the pitching's been phenomenal. As we see another one there, that's 9 now. But apart from her pitching, Steph's done everything in the middle. As you said, she's had 3 assists over to first base. At this stage, she hasn't done much with the bat, a strikeout and the hit out to the left field. But in the field, she's been damaging in the middle. And then when the ball's been hit at her, she's actually done her stuff as well. So she's done more than just pitch.
I like Amber Hood's game at the moment myself because I think she always does a great job catching Steph. She seems to know when to pull the right triggers and when to set up, and she's catching as good as she has. She's had her 2 hits tonight, and she obviously really set the tone for the Eagles offensively. She's gone to full counts on both of her at-bats, and in both of those situations, she's won those battles on those full counts, not by guessing, but by actually doing what somebody who is representing the country would. So at the moment, I'm sort of leaning that way. But again, as I said, Hoyle hasn't made a mistake at first, and she's been rock solid with 2 singles and, been a great target there for the Eagles. So the Carve eyewear from Greatrex, which look amazing, available at the Greatrex store. So they've been great supporters this year. I believe there's a food and beverage voucher for the Arkabar Sporty Bar Hotel as well, which is obviously also very popular. And then, of course, the Eastern sponsorship as well for the play of the game. So Sienna Sutton comes to the plate. And she struck out looking in her first at-bat. So bottom 5 for the Eagles, 2-0 up. Again, Sutton's hands trying to show that she might be doing something a little bit different. Has Avery on the run, who has taken a very, very good catch, which could be an Eastern player of the game, as she caught that great bunt just earlier. Sutton here has third playing short, but she stands. Swing opens up real early. Coach McGee would be saying, you've got to keep that right shoulder in as long as you can. Sutton now 1-1 in the count. Can she be a base runner for the Eagles' top order? Takes a high pitch, good batting. Taylor Cordell continues to make it difficult for the Eagles, but they are finding a way. When they get their opportunities, they're making the most of those extra base path opportunities. You realise, Pete, that you can't ask Google AI who the best player is tonight's game. You're going to actually have to...
I'm lost. I've gone to Chat GPT, I've gone to everything, and no one is telling me. No, look, to be honest, it's been a hard game because there hasn't been a lot of dominant sort of player there. It's just been that 2 runs early in the game and then sort of pitches, infield type game going from there. So,
which, to be honest, is what we expected. That's what 1 and 2 does. They never had the word shootout on it. I mean, the last time these two met, it was the Junior State Championship. Steph Trzynski was at centrefield, and the Eagles got mercied in 5.
Yeah.
Sutton, contact, bat on ball.
Now, I don't want to downplay the broadcast, but some interesting news going on in South Australia here. It's, of course, an election day today, and Labor's just called themselves winning it, and this seat of Colton looks to have turned to a Labor seat. So Aria Bolkus, who we've had down here a couple of times, looks like she's going to be stepping into Parliament, so congratulations to her.
Sutton, for the second time tonight, goes down swinging, unfortunately, bringing back to the top of the lineup. I believe you were talking politics, so I had honestly tuned out for what just happened, but I do know that you are making great connections with those people, and some important things to happen down here in the near term. So that is a positive step for softball, I believe. Hood takes a high pitch.
But plenty of time left in this game. As I said, Walkerville, they've got another couple of turns at bat. They're going to have one more crack potentially at the top of their lineup to put the runs on the board. They're going to need that bottom end to do some work as well. West Torrens aren't at side either. If Walkerville manage to get those couple of runs back, you don't ever give in to them. They will fight hard as well. But it's only 2 runs, and we know 2 runs isn't a huge margin, although it's been a winning margin for these teams. So at this point in time, it's lock down and finish out hard as best as you can.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from the Cats to suggest that they've got a way to unlock the Trzynski Hood puzzle, unfortunately, at this stage. And they've been a little shaky in the field, the Cats, in a couple of scenarios, even though Avery did make that great play earlier. Cordell's been great, just hasn't fallen their way at the moment, just no run support, so... Amber Hood goes down looking on the outside.
Yes, a good finishing pitch there by Cordell. Just sinking one across the outside edge of the plate there, catching Amber Hood a little bit hesitant in the box, not quite sure to go at it. I think she thought it might have been off, but good way to get your second one of the innings.
So, Trzynski has 9, Cordell now has 8, and Jordan Harris says, well, the last 2 batters have gone down looking. That is not going to happen on my watch, and swings at the first pitch and swings hard.
Yeah, both times tonight in the box, she's put bat on ball. One went out to out to right field, as you said, that got kicked around between the legs, and then she did the sack bunt before that pushed Amber Hood around it too. Unfortunately, Amber couldn't progress beyond there, but she's done the team thing on that occasion, and she's having a good night tonight, Jordan, so far.
Harris, cool as you like her lesser half at the plate. No stress whatsoever, but has talent to burn and the wheels to back it up.
Yeah, very patient here. That was strike 2. And he went fairly well on the plate, so she's waiting for her ball.
For a 7th inning game, I didn't think it was ever going to be a bullpen battle. I thought the starters were obviously going to make the difference. And, we're on time, so clockwise, there's nothing that's, dragged us super late or anything. Harris swings away, and the ball breaks away from her and retires the Eagles as Caudle, as she did in the 2nd innings when she went strikeout, 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 has now waited 2 more innings before she's gone strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. So she's now at 9. Trzynski finds herself for the first time tonight behind, and she's only got 7, but she gets an opportunity of right of reply here.
Yes, the pitching in the middle has been the key tonight, as we said it would be at the start. Apart from those first 2 in the first innings for West Torrens to get on it, it's been a complete stalemate since then. And we're about to see Hayley May have her first turn at bat tonight. I don't see anything in the sheds that's stronger or more chance of hitting the ball than what we're seeing already in the team's lineup. So I think this is going to be a stamina game for the pitcher in the middle, the one that can get through the 7 innings. They can get through it strong and keep going the whole way. If Steph can keep going, I'm struggling at the moment to see where Walkerville's getting these runs from.
Top 6, they've got 6 outs to play with, do the Cats. They need 2 runs to tie it, 3 runs to win the game at the moment. And obviously the advantage, of course, is that the winner goes straight through to next Saturday night's grand final. Hayley Mayer, fresh off of a grand final today already. Here she is facing Steph Trzynski for the first time tonight.
Chase the high one there.
So, 6 outs. It's not a lot to play with when you're up against Trzynski and Hood. So here they are, 8-9-1. Perfectly executed running bunt by Mayer, and she's had an impact. First at bat, she's got herself on, which is exactly what the Cats needed, because now the situation opens themselves up where they've got the speedy Aaron Stone, as we just check here on the Arkabar replay. Mayer has done that perfectly and still got speed.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely a gun bunt, just left it where it needed to.
Even then, bang, bang, just at the end.
She would have got through the ball, would have got through there safely anyway, and put herself in a good spot. It's what we said they needed to do at the bottom of the 3rd, and they couldn't, so they've got the lead on now.
Aaron Stone's got to do a job here for the Cats, and she's done it. Allen again over. Mayer turns and looks. So the important play there, Harris makes sure of the out at first. Mayer gets caught and stays at second. So Stone had to do it, and she did it. So now the Cats get their first genuine opportunity after 5 innings of play, as they now have their probably 2 of 3 best batters coming up in the lineup. It's Robertson, Kings on deck, Avery to follow. If they're ever going to score, it's going to be now.
No, this is the moment for Walkerville. They've got to absolutely seize this. As I said, it's now or never for them if they're going to get themselves straight through to the grand final. They've got the runner out on 2, only the 1 out. They're back to the top of their lineup. You wouldn't think they're going to see the top of their lineup in a 7th innings if they don't progress it here. So this is absolutely their moment to shine. If they can't do it here, I think everything goes back into West Torrens' favour till the end.
Chelsea Robinson here, been beaten twice tonight at the plate. So, again, statistically he's had a great season with the bat in the field. And obviously we all know about her state and national stuff as well. So if you asked anybody at the Cats who they want in this situation, she's in it. Batting 500 for the season. So, again, having a great year. They need her now more than ever, does the Cats faithful, wearing the legendary number 8. Of course, worn previously by the GOAT, Linda Martin herself, retired, and then brought back out. That's how much they rode her down there at Walkerville. Swings hard and fast on this one. Runner at 2, so Mayer She's an experienced player, athletic player, so she's still got wheels. She knows what to do. The advantage, of course, for the Cats is that they're only one out in the situation and King and Avery to follow. So you're right, Pete. If it's ever going to happen in this particular game on what we've seen so far and what we've seen over the season, it's going to happen in this innings or it's not going to happen at all.
Yeah, and Hayley May, very aggressive base runner as well. If she sees an opportunity to come home, she goes.
Robinson leads out in front. That's actually going to work in her favour. The throw goes short under. Mayer's going to score. Robertson thinks about taking the extra base, and there's a little bit to unpack there, Pete. I'll wait for the replay, but the Cats are on the board.
Yeah, that ball there did not come off the bat very well at all from Chelsea Robinson. We've just caught a bit of time. The ball's run out across the grass, so they want a different ball now. But just a little bit of hesitation as we see here on the replay. She got right up in front of the box there, Chelsea. The others have been deeper. That ball got hit. It got past the pitcher, past third. Maddie Scott, she's got it. She's tried to get the throw out to get Hayley Mayer, who had jumped off second, threw it down to the dirt. Hayley's then, as I said, aggressive. She was going home the whole time. Chelsea faked it. She got halfway around and then pulled herself back to first.
Watch King's hands here. Anything's possible. Ball in play will be the key. And there she goes. She's so sneaky with that short stuff that she can do right up until the last second. She's just got great hands and a great eye for the zone. She's fouled that one off. Could go again because now Robinson at 1 out represents the tying run. And you've got Avery, the power hitter, to follow.
Power hitter to follow. Chelsea on first, Sophie here batting. Both incredible wheels. So if they can get themselves on deck here and get themselves safely onto these bases with Avery and Larson to follow, both big hitters to the outfield, they could nearly get past West Torrens in the inning here.
Which you wouldn't have said 5 minutes ago. But here they are.
5 minutes ago I said I don't see how they're getting the runs.
King hasn't got all of that, but it might fall into the spot, or Maddie Scott might have taken an Eastern play of the game because that's a hard ball to catch because the ball's spinning back because she didn't get all of it. And if that ball spills, trouble everywhere.
Yeah, not sure if it was going to fall foul or fair. She's taken a fair bit of movement. It looked like it was tailing to potentially a foul if it had gone over there anyway, but either way, it was a good catch. And Sophie King's now gone out to run for Chelsea Robinson as the temporary runner. Chelsea got herself off a fair way, but she was never, ever going to be able to beat a throw from Maddie back to 2.
2 out. Avery tonight. Walk, strikeout. Sits right in the back corner of the box and jumps and steps forward. King in the biggest play of the night. And I tell you what, Amber Hood's just now put herself in contention for the Eastern play of the night because the Cats had to go for it. They went for it. They had the perfect runner to do it. King did everything right. But when you've got Amber Hood behind the plate.
Yeah, we see here, big step, lets the ball go. Amber Hood, no hesitation at all. Ball on the money. Maddie Scott tags the backside on the way through. Sophie King, as you said, did absolutely everything she could possibly do. And nothing wrong from them there.
And I tell you what an innings for Maddie Scott because obviously the Cats, they get that run and they get that run as Scott basically has the first thing that she's had to do for the night because the ball's always been on the right side of the infield. She's had really nothing to do. First play she gets, throw, goes to Harris's feet. Harris could do nothing with it. It's out of her range, out of her reach, sorry. And so the ball goes, Mayer scores. Now, you can drop your head at that point and just say, well, look, I've cost our team a run. And then she comes back. She makes a great play on the spinning ball back over here by King. And then Hood just puts it on the cushion, as you'd expect from Hood. But she's still got to make the tag. That's a great comeback by Madison Scott. That is...
Well, I'll be honest. She's actually framing herself up nicely because the first run that crossed the plate was a sac fly from her out to left field, allowing Amber Hood to score. Yes, she got struck out. She's first up the bat here. If she can do something here, she could put herself right into the gun for player of the game.
So Amber Hood, Maddie Scott, Steph Trzynski, all in battle with Sophie Hoyle currently for the...
Can I just give it to West Torrens?
Yeah, can we... I don't think you can give a pair of sunglasses to a team, so... But I'm fairly sure that some members of that team might have 4 or 5 pairs already. I don't know. Great sunglasses, though, and you can get them from Grotrex. Great sport supporters of Space Quake Sports and the live stream here at West Beach down there on Port Road.
Good effort there from Walkerville. Got to say, they went aggressive at a moment they had to go aggressive. It just took West Torrens to do everything right.
Maddie Scott's been aggressive at the plate tonight. She's facing Taylor Caudle. Oh. So if you... A demonstration of aggressive is swinging at a ball outside of the zone by a fair margin. Scott's intent there was reasonably clear. And
I think she's still pumped up from that last tag out.
I think she might be. So we're in the bottom 6. Cats only have 3 outs left to play with. They're chasing West Torrens by a run. Outside, levels the count 1-1. So now it gets hard for the Cats because the Cats need to hold strong here because they're only chasing 1. But you've got Scott, then Trzynski on deck, followed by Hoyle. Allen's last shot was a line drive to left field. So trouble here for the Cats.
Yep, they have to bury this part of the lineup of West Torrens without allowing any more to score. They're going to come into it with their 3-4-5 Walkerville to start their 7th. Obviously, Liz Avery will get her start again in the box. So.
Probably the only bonus that comes out of that situation where she's got,
And I'm certain that would have been part of the purpose of the play was that you've got your 3-4-5. If that runner gets out, worst case, you've got her on 2, albeit it was with 2 out. But
well, Lee says don't do it on the first. So, but again, when Trzynski's throwing, you don't really have a lot of time. Scott dials back the power of the swing from 150% to 140% and makes contact, and she fouls this ball out over to the faithful Eagles supporters down there on the third base line. They're currently 2-1 up here in the bottom of the 6th. None out. Scott leading off for the Eagles, facing Caudle. Robertson's behind the plate. Caudle continues to challenge her up, and Scott continues to chase up. She's in the fight here. She's behind in the count, so the change-up's going to be a weapon that Caudle's going to have up her sleeve. The ball that breaks low and in is going to be up her sleeve. But Scott showed in that first at-bat, that sacrifice run scoring. She's got power. And she goes down looking.
Yeah, she did that the first time as well. She sat on one and got herself struck out. Caudle doesn't give you anything when she's got the 2 on you, and that's exactly, she burned a couple off over the foul ball territory, and this time she managed to sit on one that she probably needed to go at, but she'd swung pretty hard at a heap of them already. So
Caudle's up to 10 strikeouts now, first to reach double figures in the sprint with her and her opposite number, who ironically comes to the plate, Steph Trzynski. None for 2 for the night. Starts with a change, struck out in her first at-bat, and a fly out to left field for a good catch by Michaela Robinson is not her night so far.
I'm sure Steph would prefer more than a 1-run breathing space going into the into the 7th inning. So as a pitcher herself, she's got her chance to make at the start of that change happen if she gets herself on here.
Interesting stat of the 10 strikeouts that West Torrens have had so far, 5 of them have been looking.
5 of them have been the top 4 batters.
Trzynski gets jammed, but rotates enough. Robertson climbs the fence. I think you'll find that Ninja Island trials haven't started yet, Chelsea, so easy on climbing the fence. But
it was a bit weird. Georgia Mason was saying fence, fence, fence.
Yeah.
And I think she thought that meant she had to jump it.
I think if I've got Georgia Mason in my left eye running towards me and I'm running towards the fence, in both situations I'm out. Trzynski now falls behind in the count. Keeps herself alive, and I think she's surprised that she made contact with it. She was so far out in front. It's good to see Steph smiling. That's good. She's in a good place at the moment, playing some great softball. So she keeps herself alive in this situation. Caudle's starting to turn the screws at the moment as far as limiting the hitting. She's on a 4 strikeout run at the moment of the last 4 batters. Trzynski digs this one out, fouls it off over the grandstand. Reasonable crowd in for Saturday night softball. Bit going on in the city, I suppose, with the fringe and everything else. So we'll take a packed capacity field.
Yeah, so far here, we saw Maddie Scott put a couple away, foul balled a couple off, and then sat and watched one. I don't think we're going to see Steph do the same, but definitely Taylor would be pitching quite a few here.
If she was sitting here now, she'd be saying, change up. She got her again. So, Caudle wins that battle. 2 out, brings Hoyle to the plate. And every player that we've spoken about in a positive manner tonight for an award has then had something bad happen. So let's not say anything, because Sophie Hall's 2 for 2 for the night and been rock solid at first.
Righto. Let's see what you just put the muzzle there.
I'm sorry, Soph. Backing her in here. She's looked the goods all night long.
Hope she knows your Rego.
My son drives my car more than I do, so that's who she'll be finding. Hoyle chases up early there as Caudle continues to throw rockets late in the game. We're in the bottom of the 6th with 2 out.
As I said, since those first couple of runs that scored for West Torrens, it's been pretty rock solid in the middle by Taylor. She's thrown a lot of dynamite in there, and she's hitting her spots nicely. She was probably just a bit off, as we said, the first couple of innings. There was a few more balls than she would normally have.
Yeah.
But since she's actually zoned in and found that zone and what the Pete Fairley's calling, she's hitting it nicely now, and that's where probably Steph zoned in earlier and got that sort of upper hand on Walkerville, whereas...
Well, when 6 of your 11 strikeouts are looking, you would suggest that you're having a reasonable control of the plate. And that's what she's done well, and that's what Robinson's done well, is that it's not just fastball rise. It's just not the same thing. And just throwing the change up at certain times in the count. Some of these pitches, and she didn't lead on to this last week, but there's some off-speed stuff in there that it's a slow rise, a slow curve, or a half curve, whatever you want to call it. And that's why she's dominant. That's why she's the Lorraine Brown current pitcher of the year, as well as premiership winning pitcher from last year, as well as the Kath Coral medalist from last year. She dominated the season, so it took her a while coming back this time round, late start, and took a while to get into it, but didn't take long, and she's since dominated since then. She's in a battle here with Sophie Hall. Hoyle's had the better of it so far tonight. But Robinson, as I said, has done a really good job in calling that mixture there that has not enabled, after the first innings that Torrens had, where they did come out aggressive and went after her, she's been able to contain it back. There hasn't been back-to-back hints since the first innings. Fastball over to Avery, comes up, throws it like a tracer, and the Cats retire the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th to a great ground out from Liz Avery over to Georgia Mason at first. Now, we are just 3 outs away, as we see here on the Aqaba replay, Pete.
Yeah, ball didn't come off the bat that flush here, and it's just sort of made its way quite high off the bat, actually. So Avery, who was fielding behind third base, and a good enough arm to get it over to first to retire the 3. I said they had to bury those 3 out of the innings quickly. They've done that. They've now got to go back to their 3, 4, 5 in their lineup and hope that they can get a runner on early and some speed. The benefit that they've got is they've got that 3, 4, 5 spot. They're not coming into an awkward spot in their lineup. Liz Avery capable of hitting a big bomb. Sierra Larson capable of hitting a big ball. Georgia Mason has been and is a confident batter who can get herself a bat on ball. If one of these first 2 have to get themselves onto base, that's basically the only way they're going to score a tying run. And to be honest, the tying run's all you need here. I think they can hold West Torrens from the bottom of the 7th from where they are in their lineup.
So yeah, I mean, and the game earlier today was one in a tiebreaker. So this one here, as you say, Avery, Larson, Mason, all got great numbers. Tonight, Avery, a walk and a strikeout. Larson, strikeout and a ground out to the pitcher. Mason, ground out to first and a strikeout. So Trzynski's had the 3 of their number tonight. If they can get that run and tie it up, and it does go into that situation, Allen, Benedictson, Holt and Sutton, who have contributed 5 of the 9 strikeouts in that part of the lineup, is what's the response before you move into a tiebreak. So, yes, the Cats have got no choice here. They've got to get either Avery or Larson on. Avery's looked likely, but it's a big swing. There doesn't seem to be a half measure. It's either going to hit the fence on the full or on a bounce or nothing.
Well, they've got that young outfield, as we said, as well, and the outfield haven't really had a lot of play tonight either from West Torrens' point of view. So
that's the type of shot we're talking about. Just got great hands, and she's line drive this ball over the goat's head there at first in the coaching box. Linda Martin.
In fact, looking at it, Anthony, Walkerville haven't hit the ball outside the infield tonight.
I did
nothing.
Yeah.
So if they can get it out to this young outfield, not that they're young and inexperienced, they've played plenty of Premier League this season, but if they can get it out to them and get them a chance to maybe get an extra base on it, on a slight error, fielding error, throwing error, something like that, that is what they're going to have to rely on, a little bit of luck.
Benedictson, Holt, Sutton all got range and speed and have all got reasonable arms for their age. So the Eagles have always prided themselves on defence. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the lead-off here. We're in the top of the 7th. It's Torrens 2, Walkerville 1. Cats need a run to make West Torrens bat. They need a second run to make West Torrens need to score a run to keep the thing going into a tiebreak. So all the pressure on the Cats right here, who haven't really done much until they came alive in the 6th, when the change in the lineup, Hayley Mayer, made the difference, as for the second time tonight, Liz Avery, and that time on a change, picks the walk, bringing Larson to the plate, who has struck out and grounded back out to Steph on a good reflex play.
Phase 1 complete, where they had to get one of the first 2 on base if they were going to have a chance here. They've got that now. They have to make sure she can get around. There'll be nothing going behind the catcher, so it's going to have to come from a ball in play.
And as much as Liz Avery looks like a supreme athlete in regards to levers and being fast on the base pass, the last person that was fast on the base pass got burnt by Amber Hood from behind the plate. So she'll be doing it with protection in this particular case. So you're going to see the clean-up here to try and bunt here. She's put this nearly in play. Allen, the ball is spilled, but it's going to work out because there was nothing that she could do. It was well read, and actually the bunt was actually a reasonable bunt in the end by a clean-up hitter in that regard. But
yeah, as we see here, she just pushed it a high one, which made it go up.
Yeah.
And Carly Allen's dived. It's come off her glove, off of Steph's. It's going to end up being a 5-1 to 6 play because it's hit all 3 of them on the way through. But poor old Avery, she was going, and then she had to come back thinking it was going to get caught, and then she ended up having to go, and it was just too hard. So a good out there for for West Torrens. They needed that lead runner. 2 on base was going to be a bit tricky for them with none out, but they've managed to get the 1 out. Georgia Mason's coming out of the game here. Steph Gall is coming in.
So Mason had grounded out to first base and struck out in her 2 at-bats tonight. And Steph Gall, who I believe was part of the Walkerville B grade, but she's played a lot of games for Walkerville A grade, mainly in a DP role for Caudle a lot of the time. Plays a little bit of outfield, left field. Good contact hitter. So it's 1 out here for the Cats. Goal swings over that one. Eagles 2 outs away from a grand final appearance for 2026. Goal gets jammed on the hands, fouls it off. Amber's made all the effort to get over there, and the ball's gone past her, and she's got to go all the way back. I reckon you should do the Eastern play of the game. I think I'll do the... That's what I was thinking. So that means you still got to do the Eastern play of the game. So Trzynski challenges Gall up high as she falls behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Sierra Larson's at first base after Avery was thrown out in the lead run from the first play. And she gets after this one. Nice, flat, even swing by Gall. And it's fouled off. Tense times. Anybody must think it's a final. Winner gets a grand final berth. The loser into the prelim on Wednesday night. Gall takes a pitch on the outside that's been working a bit for Trzynski tonight. And she gets strikeout number 10. She goes upstairs. Gall goes with her. And now the Cats' grand final chances come down to 1 out. Kelly Bested, who for the night has had a strikeout and a ground out to the pitcher. She comes in facing Trzynski. We're in the top of the 7th. West Torrens 2, Walkerville 1. Cats must score to keep this game alive. They have Sierra Larson, their cleanup hitter, at first. Trzynski's on 10 strikeouts. Had a big night. She's been solid, great in the field as usual. So is Amber Hood. So is Sophie Hoyle. So is Maddie Scott. So is Jordan Harris. It's been a total effort by the Eagles. They've all chipped in and done their part. And they're about to deliver Coach Sutton in his first year a grand final appearance. One strike away. And there it is. It's over. Eagles are straight through to the grand final. Walkerville will face the Hills Heat Wednesday night. 2-1 in 7 innings. Pete's going to jump out the front quickly for us, and he's going to have a word with our 2 players of the game. And but in summary, the game started with Amber Hood setting the tone. Great first at-bat, full count. Got herself on and then was able to be scored behind Harris Scott in the first innings. Maddie Scott sacked fly. Sophie Hall with a single. And the Eagles were 2-0 up, and they were never headed, not until the 5th, until the Cats themselves, when Hayley Mayer got introduced into the game. And she then got on and was able to go on and score with an error at second base. But that was all the Cats wrote. So Trzynski dominant with 11 strikeouts. Caudle dominant, 11 strikeouts. So it was a pitching duel. We've said in the pre-game, between the 2 teams, there's been only the scores are 2-1. 12 runs and 10 runs. So tonight we've got Amber Hood, who's going to be the Carve player of the game for her excellent work behind the plate and her 2 at-bats where she was able to not only hit 2 great shots but went on to score. Maddie Scott on her return from Brisbane at shortstop. Didn't have much to do early, but she had plenty to do late, and she was great in the field, taking a great catch to the left side, as well as making up for an early throw. Also hit that sacrifice fly. Got a crossover to Pete in just a second.
Well, we're here with the player and play of the game. We'll start with the play of the game, Maddie Scott. It goes to you. Welcome back home. Great game out there tonight. The play of the game tonight goes to that catch that you took in behind third base, followed up by obviously the play over the catching Sophie King running. Kind of a pivotal game, given you had Avery in the box and King with fast runner out on base. How important. We saw the look on the face when you made it.
Yeah, it was very important, I guess. Steph did a great game today, and Amber behind the plate, so that play would have turned the game around if we didn't get that.
And also on your part, you've come into bat straight up, put that ball straight to the outfield to get the run around. You must be pretty happy with how you saw it.
Yeah, I was looking for that pitch, so it's good she threw it.
I think there's a hint to everyone. Don't pitch it there again. Well, welcome home. Well, no doubt we're going to see you next week.
Thank you, yes.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing that. And the player of the game, Amber Hood. There is your car, sunglasses and Arkabar Sporties voucher. Good game tonight. Couple of hits for yourself. Cross the plate, the first one over. Phenomenal game in behind there, catching to Steph, who was just pitching the lights out. But also that play that you were part of. How'd you feel the night went?
It was an awesome team game. We really wanted to get in there and score early. Scoring in the first inning is always what you want. You're better off not chasing. So I think that was a really good game for us, and our defence had an amazing night. So.
It must be nice to sit in there behind Steph when she's got that ball on what appears to be some sort of little string. It just seems to be rolling nicely.
She's unstoppable when she's throwing it like that, so I'm glad I'm on her team.
And what is it for the week now for the two of you? Obviously, you get to sit back, watch the Wednesday night game. Do you come down? Do you sit home? What's the go?
I'll be at home.
I'll definitely be having a bit of a look, but I think we'll just keep doing the same thing we've been doing all season, and it will come together at the end of the day.
No worries. You both had a fantastic season. So is your team. It's going really well. Good luck next week in the grand final. We'll be back here on Wednesday night, obviously, for the Hills, who will be out here to take on Walkerville. And then next Saturday back here again for the grand final.
Thanks, Pete. Yes, been a great night. So thank you to Arkabar Hotel for their support of the event. Great game. And broadcast is ended.